People mostly use car, of course, and especially the part that I live in my country is called Seoul, which is the biggest city in Korea. And then most of people use public transportation, such as subways or buses. And then so there's like more than 10 lines on subways. And if you want to go far away from where you are currently, like for example, if you live in western part of the Seoul and you have to go to the eastern part of Seoul, you might want to take subway instead of bus because subway is faster and like convenient and on time, hopefully. And then if you are going somewhere not far from your place, you might want to use bus instead of the subway because bus station is mostly near by where you are, I guess. And also people could use taxi, of course. But I still think like most of the grown-ups, like if they have enough money, they can drive their own cars, I guess. So there's still, it's the public transportation system is pretty good, but there are a lot of traffic jam in Korea. I mean in Seoul, mostly. But if you go outside of Seoul, like Gyeonggi or somewhere far from Seoul, like most of the transportation should be there. Like people has has their own car. So yeah, that's it.
What kind of transportation do you use to get around? Do you use public transportation or do you drive? What kind of transportation do you use to get around? Do you use public transportation or do you drive?
I use public transportation all the time. Um, because I don't have a car, and also as I mentioned before, Seoul is not really good for driving car because there's always traffic jams and like there's so many people on the road. So I mean like so many people like in the city. So it's like if you and you know like unlike United States or maybe Canada, it's not the planned city. It's naturally like made city. So the roads are very like complicated and like you know what I mean. So it's really hard to drive, like all the alleys and like the small like the part of the cities. And also it's so expensive to drive. So usually, so I mostly use the subway or buses. But I really like buses, cause my place is a little far from the subway station. Like I have to walk at least 8 minutes from here, and it's very crowded. Like I live somewhere like in the center part of the Seoul, so there's a lot of people, like a lot of tourists in especially. So I really don't want to, pass them through. So I just use bus. Bus station is like 2 minute walk from my place. So I really like to take bus, and like if you take the bus, you can see the sun and like and you have more chance to sit. So I like buses.
Sometimes riding the subway or bus can be uncomfortable. Have you ever had any problems while taking public transportation? Sometimes riding the subway or bus can be uncomfortable. Have you ever had any problems while taking public transportation?
Yeah, it can be uncomfortable because it's so crowded in Seoul, especially at rush hours. Oh, that's crazy. And once I use this line number one, and like the line number one is known for a bad condition. Like there's a lot of weird people, and it's been like, I don't know, maybe like over 30 years or something, the train itself. So it's so dirty in there, and it's like so stinky. Like I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, once I was way to my work, and like it was in the morning, and I of course I used my AirPod or something. Like I don't know, it was like I guess like 6 years ago, so maybe I just used the line earphones or something. And then I was listening to music, and then there was a lady, like crazy lady there, and she started swearing at me, like swearing so hard, like F word kind of thing. And then I was like, at first I couldn't hear that because I was not focusing on her. Like I was not giving any, kind of focus to her. I didn't. I was like just into my music, and and then I was using my phone, and I was like not giving any. And then she was yelling at me, and other people started staring at me, and I was like, okay, something's happening to me. And it was very uncomfortable. And like after I noticed that she's staring at me, I could hear that. I was like, my face got red because I was too young to deal with it. Yeah, that was very uncomfortable situation for me.
Where do you enjoy going camping? Describe the place where you often go camping in as much detail as you can. Where do you enjoy going camping? Describe the place where you often go camping in as much detail as you can.
So because I didn't answer this survey, I don't like to go camping. But anyways, I'm gonna answer it. So I do remember that when I was young, like I was 10 or like under 10, my parents used to take me and my brother to this camping place. It was in the same city, like but it was like the countryside part of the city. So I'm not from Seoul. It's like I'm from a small city, like, and then there was like the city part and then other part, farming part, and like there were a lot of mountains around there. So one of those mountain places, like mountain area, they had like camping places. So my mom and dad took us to this camping place, and I honestly don't remember the details, but my father really liked to buy those camping stuffs. So we always had tent, and like we always had the fishing something, or fishing gears everywhere. And like I do remember that we had like this, how can you say that, like brewster. I don't know how can I say it. So like we had this brewster or something, and then we always needed that mosquito something. Like we didn't want any mosquitoes around us. And then there was like the mat there, but still there were so many flies. I think I've eaten like, I don't know, like 100 or 200, more than like 200 plus flies at the time, I guess. That's only memory about the camping, I guess.
When did you first start camping? How did you become interested in camping?
I'm not interested in
When
camping.
did you first start camping? How did you become interested in camping?
So first, I'm not interested in camping. I'm sorry. And when did I start camping? It started all from my parents, as I mentioned before. And I think it was like under 10, as I mentioned before. And also, I do remember that we went to camping to beach, actually. And we could do the camping on the beach. I don't know how that is that was happened, how that happened before. But actually we like built this tent and we slept there, and then in the nighttime my dad and my my aunt's husband, I don't know how to say him, how to call him, so my aunt's husband, so like all those adult guys went out to fishing, and then they caught the octopus, like a real octopus from the sea. So they showed it to us, like for there was like kids, me and my brother, and there was my cousin. My cousin was so young, like he was a baby, like 3 or something. Anyways, maybe not 3, although older than that. Anyways, and it was I was so shocked because my dad is so bad at fishing, and I was shocked because he actually caught this octopus that actually people can eat. Like yeah, so that I think was some interesting memory. So I do have like more memories about camping, I guess. Yeah, there was when I started ish camping.
Tell me about your most memorable camping trip. Where did you go? What did you do while you were camping? Why was it so memorable? Tell me about your most memorable camping trip. Where did you go? What did you do while you were camping? Why was it so memorable?
So actually there is another camping after I became an adult. So there was, like, when COVID pandemic was crazy, it was kind of like a camping boom in Korea. And there was some people who wanted to go camping, and then one of them took me to the camping place, and that it was very memorable because I started to know that I hate camping at that moment, at that night. So we kind of wanted to cook there, and then like what I hated the most was the fire. Like you have to use this, wood, like so many wood, and like you torch them, and like fires are so harsh, and like the smells of the ashes, and all of your clothings are like affected by the fire, and it smells so bad. I mean, some people loves the wood smell, like the fire smell, but I hated that. And also I couldn't wash myself. I couldn't shower. I mean, there was a shower place, but I didn't want to shower there. And I just had to like wash my face, and I had to sleep in the car, and it was terrible. I have bad back. I had a back pain. I have a disc. So I really hated that camping. So it's very memorable in a negative way.
I'd like to know what people in your country do in their free time. What activities do people do? And how do they spend their free time? I'd like to know what people in your country do in their free time. What activities do people do? And how do they spend their free time?
I mean, it depends, but I think these days the trend is to do workout, like to working out. 'Cause I think people want to be fit. And I also think it's because of the Instagram, like all the SNS thing, like the social media thing, made them like wanted to look more fit, like more like, you know. So what I like to do in my free time, and I think that is actually one of the trend of what people do in their free time, is climbing, like indoor climbing, like the plastic climbing, like the bouldering, you know. And there's like a lot of like climbing crews between like 20s and or their 30s, people in their like younger people, you know, do that. And also, oh, actually, like speaking of crew, so it was a hot issue that like there were a lot of running crews like around the parks, and especially like Han River Park. But it was running crew was hot. It was also on the news, like cause because they used to block the way and was making so much noises, and like people hated that. Like, what? Like, you can run by yourself, why are you making so much noise and like so much big deal of like running and like working out, and then you actually wanted to date people, and like you guys are just so hypocrite. You just don't want to run, like you are not just for working out. You just want to date some other guys, and like, you know.
How have the ways you spent your free time changed over the years? What did you do when you had free time in the past? And what do you do when you have free time now? How have the ways you spent your free time changed over the years? What did you do when you had free time in the past? And what do you do when you have free time now?
So I used to watch movies all the time. Not even my free time. I just always watching the movie. But now I prefer to read books better than watching movies. I think it's because I have to spend full 2 hours and the full, you know, effort for the movie. But I do not have that much of, you know, I cannot focus on one thing for that long time. I'm so easily distracted by my phone and something. So if I can just have like a short time of maybe free time, I just try to read. But honestly, what I do the most, of course, is my phone. I like to watch YouTube channels, and like I like to watch Instagram feed. What else? What I usually do is I talk to my boyfriend, like I text to him. Or maybe I take a look of my gallery. I really like to take a look of the photos of me and my boyfriend. I know it's kind of cringy to say, but I really like him. So I really like to, yeah, explore my galleries, especially the one that I'm with him. Yeah.
Tell me about the last time you had free time. When was it? And what did you do? Who did you spend the time with? Tell me about the last time you had free time. When was it? And what did you do? Who did you spend the time with?
So honestly, I have so much free time because I'm unemployed. So the last time that I had a long free time was last Sunday, and I went to where did I go? I think I went to PC cafe, like, you know, the PC room, like you can play online game and things. And I was with my boyfriend, of course. And then I played like very traditional Korean online game, which is called Maple Story. Yeah, and it's been renewed a lot, so it's very different now than compared to what I used to play when I was younger. So, but you could actually find the original version of the version that I used to play online. So we found out that the way that we can play the original version. So we spent like 2 hours there, maybe better more than that. And then after that we went to see a movie. It's called Nora. And we really, I don't know, I at least really liked it. I think he liked it too. We went to an art cinema, and there was actually a lot of people like than expected, like way more people than I expected. And the movie was so good, cause I mean, it got a gun. It went to a con, so maybe it should be good. I don't know. I like that director so much.
You want to go on a trip. Call a travel agency and ask 3 or 4 questions about the trip you want to take. You want to go on a trip. Call a travel agency and ask 3 or 4 questions about the trip you want to take.
Hi, I'm calling to ask something about trip to where? Trip to Japan, Osaka. So how much is it? I mean, like I want to go there for 3 days and no, 5 days and 4 nights. So is there any item, any course, any item that you are planning about that schedule? And also, if you do, when do you think is the best time to go there? Because depends on the climate in Osaka, like the weather. And I wanted to be very reasonable, especially the cost, because I do not have a lot of money. So if there is any under 100 man won, 10, I mean million won, under a million won for the full tour. And and also I have a question about, is it included, the hotel and the plane included? And also I do have another question, which is, do I have to tip the guide if I I'm pretty sure that you have guides in there in Osaka. So do I have to tip them, or if is it included or like something? Thank you.
You made a reservation for a trip, but something came up, so you cannot go. You have to change your flight schedule. Call the travel agency, explain the situation, and give 2 or 3 alternatives. You made a reservation for a trip, but something came up, so you cannot go. You have to change your flight schedule. Call the travel agency, explain the situation, and give 2 or 3 alternatives.
Hi, my name is something, and I'm sorry, but I actually have to cancel my reservation because I got in a car accident yesterday, and I'm in a hospital now. I broke my legs, so I cannot move. So is there any way that I can get a refund? Or I know that it's tomorrow, but I really cannot make it because the doctor said I have to stay in the hospital at least for a week. I'm so sorry, and if you cannot give me a refund, maybe like if you cannot get me a full refund, I can get it by mileage or coupons that I can use for later, because I really like the program, the items, like all the courses that you've planned. I really was expecting that, like, oh my god, I was so looking forward to going to Osaka with you guys. Also, if I cannot get full refund nor full mileage refund, can I actually make other people go there so that I can sell them? If there's any way of like that I can do that I've mentioned, can you call me back and like please? Thank you, and I'm so sorry. That's it.
Have you ever had a problem while planning for a trip? What was the problem? And how did you solve the problem? Have you ever had a problem while planning for a trip? What was the problem? And how did you solve the problem?
So I was when I was in yes, I actually had some problem. It was very recent incident. So I was planning to come to Seoul from my hometown because I was staying the weekend in my parents' place, in my home, and I wanted to come back to Seoul with my parents because they were having vacation. And then we were, and some terrible thing happened because we went up to Gyeonggi, which is like an hour far from Seoul and 2 hours far from my home. And then my dad got this call from his boss, which is technically the country, the government, because he's a police officer. So there was a big fire, mountain fire, in my home area. So he had to go back there. So we just turned to the home. So that was something happened while we were planning the trip to Seoul. And then yeah, after we came back, he went to work, and then terrible thing continued, and a lot of thing happened after that. Check the news.
Compare the movies today to movies you watched when you were a child. How have movies changed over the years? Tell me the similarities and differences between them. Compare the movies today to movies you watched when you were a child. How have movies changed over the years? Tell me the similarities and differences between them.
So the movies that I've used to watch was like got the kids movies. I really liked the kids animation when I was younger. And then now I watch every genres of movies, like every stuffs of the movies. So the main difference is those. Its main differences are like the genre. So I used to like this very peaceful, very happy movies such as Bug's Life. I really like the Bug's Life. I think I've seen that movie like for I don't know, over 10 times. Anyways, but now I really like gory movies, like horror movies. I don't really like gory movies, but I really like horror movies and comedy, especially like horror comedy. I love them. Like I really am fine with the gory movies, like because I was so like, the substance was very impressive for me recently. So that's why I'm mentioning that. And the similarities of the movies in the past and now is, I think the length is still similar, from 90 minutes to 150 minutes. But I think it used to be, once there was era that people wanted to make movie longer, longer than 3 hours, like 2 hours. But there was like some period that people wanted to make it shorter, like 90 minutes, and now they make it like way longer than that, like 3 hours something, 3 hours or like 4 hours something. And the similarity of the movie is that they are fun. They're fun, exciting, everything. Everything is in there. I love them. That's the similarity.
What issues about movies do you talk about with your friends or family members these days? What are they? And why are they big issues? What issues about movies do you talk about with your friends or family members these days? What are they? And why are they big issues?
These days I talk a lot of I don't know, let's say I think it's too sensitive problem. Probably maybe let's say Anora. So Anora got this like huge award, and then but the main character is working. She's I don't know, I want to I want to use the same expression that is used in the movie, which is prostitute. She is a prostitute or maybe strip dancer. Yeah. And I know that Anora was really, really amazing masterpiece. But still I think still in the screen there's like too much of making the prostitution in a good way, like I don't know, it's really hard to explain. I also do not have like a strong opinion of like I like I am pro or like con, like I am agree with them or like I agree with them or I'm against them. I don't have a strong opinion, but I think that's some kind of still sensitive problem, still sensitive issue about the movies, I guess. Like how much can you show, especially in women's bodies, I guess. Alright, done. Okay, I know that I was not that good, but I think I've done the similar length. Honestly, longer than this. Like longer answers and more like mumbling and like trembling. But still, I got AL, so maybe this video could help you. Hopefully. Thank you for watching. Bye.